For decades, Mars has just been there, our silent red neighbor in the solar system. A dusty, distant world we thought we had figured out. But what if I told you that the year 2025 changed absolutely everything? We're about to dive into the discoveries that have completely rewritten our understanding of the red planet.
So the big question is this. After all this time, after all the robotic explorers we've sent, what did we finally learn? What secrets has Mars been hiding just under that rusty red surface?
And the answer, well, it's kind of profound. What we've discovered is that Mars isn't just some other planet. It's a cautionary tale. It's like a ghost of a world that was once a lot like our own. And by looking at its past, we might just be seeing a reflection of our own future.
So let's get into our 2025 report on Mars. This was the year where the line between what we imagined and what we knew just vanished. What was once pure science fiction became undeniable scientific fact.
For the longest time, the picture we had of Mars was pretty bleak. A dead world, static, barren, totally lifeless. But the data we got in 2025, it paints a completely different picture. We're now looking at a dynamic planet, one that's geologically active, packed with hidden water, and, this is the really exciting part, whispering about ancient life.
And that whisper, the most exciting discovery of all, takes us to a very specific spot, a place called Sapphire Canyon, right inside the huge Jezero crater. This is where the whole search for life took a really dramatic and unexpected turn.
See, this is where the Perseverance rover did something incredible. It drilled into a particular rock formation they named Chayava Falls, and it pulled out a sample that has since become the most debated, most exciting piece of Mars we've ever laid eyes on.
Okay, so before we get into what Perseverance found, we have to understand this one word, biosignature. It's not, a fossilized alien. Think of it more like a fingerprint left behind, a chemical or a pattern in the rock that strongly suggests that biology was involved at some point. And the evidence from that one rock? It was stunning. Percy found a ton of organic carbon, which is a building block of life, arranged in these weird, irregular leopard spot patterns. It also found minerals we associate with how life transfers energy here on Earth. And get this, they found all this in rocks that were way younger than scientists expected. That could mean Mars was habitable for much longer than we ever thought possible.
But, science is all about being careful. As NASA's Katie Stack Morgan said, this is the closest we have ever come to finding signs of life on Mars. But we can't be 100% sure, not until we get these samples back to our super advanced labs right here on Earth. The potential is just massive, but that final verdict, it's still waiting.
Now, this potential biosignature wasn't just some random fluke. It was actually one piece of a much bigger puzzle, a huge wave of new data that showed Mars as a planet of incredible surprises, way more active than its quiet surface would have you believe.
So let's just be really clear about this. Mars is not dead. The data from 2025 shows us a world that's geologically, chemically, and even electrically alive. It's crackling with a hidden energy we're only just now starting to pick up on.
Get this, for the first time ever, Perseverance's microphones actually recorded tiny, lightning-like sparks, 55 of them popping off inside Martian dust devils. This proved that even in that thin atmosphere, friction can build up static electricity, which could totally change the chemistry happening on the surface.
And the surprises just kept coming, this time from deep underground. By looking at old data from the InSight lander, scientists confirmed vast reservoirs of water ice. And we're not talking about a little bit of moisture here. We're talking about enough water to cover the entire planet in an ocean 1.5 times over. It's all there, just hidden from view.
And the signs of activity just keep piling up. We've recorded hundreds of Mars quakes, which tell us it has a surprisingly big, molten core that's still active. Our orbiters keep seeing these weird seasonal spikes of methane gas, a gas that's often linked to life. And we can see streaks on crater walls that look an awful lot like salty water is still flowing on the surface today. This is not a museum piece. It's a living, breathing world in its own way.
So with all these incredible discoveries, you can imagine it created a huge sense of urgency. The new goal isn't just about looking at Mars from far away anymore. It's about bringing pieces of it home. And that has kicked off a brand new kind of space race.
As of right now, Perseverance has carefully collected and sealed up 33 perfect little sample tubes. They are filled with rocks, soil, even a bit of the Martian air. It's a scientific treasure chest just sitting there on the surface, basically waiting for a pickup.
And there are a few different players all trying to be that ride home. You've got the classic partnership of NASA and the European Space Agency, aiming for the early 2030s. But right on their heels is China, with their really ambitious Tianwen-3 mission, trying to get samples back by 2031. And then you've got the wild card, SpaceX, planning to use their gigantic Starship to maybe even get humans there in the same decade.
And for SpaceX, getting samples is just step one. They're thinking about cities. Their roadmap is just unbelievably ambitious. They want to do uncrewed test landings as soon as late 2026, then send the first people in the early 2030s, all building towards this huge goal of a self-sustaining city by 2050. It's mind-boggling.
All of this, the incredible science, the technology, the fierce competition, it brings us to the final and honestly the most important point. What does Mars really teach us? Well, it acts like a red mirror, reflecting our own planet's past and maybe its future.
And the lessons are pretty stark. First, a world like ours, a place that can support life, is incredibly precious and it's fragile. Second, that a planetary magnetic field isn't just a neat feature. It's a vital shield that keeps your atmosphere from getting blasted away by the sun. And finally, that a planet's ancient history really does decide its ultimate fate.
Mars is basically a perfectly preserved time capsule. It shows us exactly what can happen when a world loses its protective shield. It's a stark, hauntingly beautiful, and really demanding teacher, forcing us to think about the delicate balance that makes all of this, right here on Earth, possible.
So, in the end, the biggest secret Mars revealed in 2025 wasn't really about ancient microbes at all. It was about us. The planet is a warning, written across an entire world. And the real question is, are we listening?